Welcome to the name game. Workout number 70 is halvesies. It's a 10-minute AMRAP. 120 double unders, 12 bar muscle ups, 12 squat cleans at 135 and 95 for males and females respectively. 60 double unders, 6 bar muscle ups, 6 squat cleans at 185, 135. 30 double unders, 3 bar muscle ups, and then max squat cleans at 225, 155. For that last barbell, we're going to put a little asterisk next to that and say, if that is more, that 225 or 155 is more than 85%, then you are going to use 85% of your max for that last barbell. So whichever is less there. And then lastly is that you are using a single barbell and you are responsible for changing your weights throughout this workout. So obviously make sure you have everything set up ahead of time. You know how you can easily change your weights the most efficiently you can, but you have to change your own weights. So let's loop in Coach Chris and we'll talk about strategy.
First impressions is it's, your classic AMRAP that's not really an AMRAP type deal. You know what I mean? You're just AMRAPing reps at the end of it. And so looking at this firsthand, the bulk of it is going to be squat clean dependent, right? Because theoretically you end the workout with as many squat cleans as possible. But how good you are at the other two elements is going to determine the time frame needed on the barbell. And so the kind of the way I look at it is if you're pretty good at double unders, like you can do like 75 to 100 in an unbroken set, then you're going to do big chunk sets on the double unders, right? 120, 60, and 30. If you're someone who's better than that, you're going to go unbroken on the double unders. There's no need or reason to really break those up. And then on the bar muscle ups, if you're good at bar muscle ups, so like for those that don't know, Ben's super good at bar muscle ups. Like he's just going to go unbroken across those sets. And then utilize the squat cleans as like rhythmic reps. So like single squat clean, drop the bar, set, single squat clean, drop the bar, especially because you also have to change the weights. So you almost have like a built-in rest there as well. Like you can't avoid it. And so being able to push the gymnastics portion is not necessarily a bad call. So those are kind of some of my first thoughts on it. If you're someone who's okay at bar muscle ups, I would break them up into what I would call like reasonable sets, right? So if your max set is, let's say 6 bar muscle ups, cut it in half, you know what I mean? And all right, I'm going to do sets of 3 with a shortish rest on the set of 12, and then try to maintain 3s the rest of the workout. So that's kind of how I would, attack the workout from there.
Yeah. So really, it's tough to give generalized advice for pacing because there's going to be people who have a bar muscle up rep max of 20, and there's going to be people who have 0. So, and obviously everybody in between. So obviously, if you have the ability to rip out a big chunk with a descending rep scheme like this, you can just do that, exactly that, like, hold unbroken the whole way through potentially. And yeah, like you said, just kind of do singles with a methodical drop reset, and that's where we sort of manage your heart rate, and then that's going to dictate how much time you have left at that 225 bar. And then it's basically just like singles sort of by feel, like knowing that you can actually hit the reps without getting into really bad positions where you're gonna have to take a longer rest. For people who have not as proficient bar muscle ups, so even less than you were saying like a rep max of 6, let's go down to 0 to 1 bar muscle ups, maybe 2 as a rep max. For those people, what we're saying is, if you're going to get into this and it's really not going to be a workout because you're not doing bar muscle ups fast enough for it to actually feel like a workout, like in other words, if you feel like it's more skill work because you're just limited by the fact that like I have to stand here, wait until I'm ready to do the bar muscle up, you should probably do chest to bars. That's what we're recommending. So at that point, again, if you're someone who is like 1 or 0 of bar muscle ups, we're going to say 18, 12, 6 instead of the 12, 6, 3. If you're someone who's in the gray area, you're like, I don't really know if I should do bar muscle ups. I don't know if I should, scale back to chest to bars or do some sort of hybrid. If you're coached by one of us, talk to us. We will give you what you need. But Yeah, if you're following this and you're either not one of our athletes or you're clearly don't have the capacity to do that many bar muscle ups, then it's 18, 12, 6 on the chest to bars.
Yep. And then, similarly on the barbell, we basically said on the last bar, you're going to want to do 85% or the 225, whichever is less. Because if your max squat clean is 225, that's not really what we want out of this workout. You want to be moving the barbell. Again, it really depends, right? Someone who has a 275 max squat clean is not going to move it as well as someone who has a 325 max squat clean, but they're still going to be moving it better, obviously, than someone who's like, oh, well, this is my max. Let's see if I have it in me today. And so, ideally, we want to at least get a couple reps at that barbell and then kind of scaling the reps or the weights back from there, right? We went with pretty standard 135, 85, 225. But let's say your 85% is 205, then all right, it's 20 pounds less. Maybe I go 165 and 115 on the first 2 bars or something along those lines. But again, depending on that, if you're working with a Zor coach, your coach will be able to make the necessary weight adjustments for you there as well.
Yeah, and oftentimes I find that people just want to be able to compare their scores to other people. So like if you're someone who's very close and you're like, man, I just really want to be able to look at the like our little leaderboard that we've put together and see where I'm at, like, okay, like go for it.
Yeah.
But if you're clearly like, if that's out of bounds for you and like that you shouldn't be doing that, don't just do it to say that you did it.
Right. Like you should be able to hit 225.
Yeah.
And so that, especially with it being the last bar. So again, if your max squat clean's 205, like, saying the max squat clean was 225 wasn't a great example, but let's say it's 205, right? That makes no sense for you to try that barbell, right? But if your max squat clean, again, 225 was not a good first example. Let's say it's 225 or 235. Go for it. It's the last barbell, right? Like if you have a minute and a half left, it's like, all right, let's see if I can get a rep or two and, have a comparable score across the way. That's probably a better plan of attack there.
Yeah. Okay. We've been talking exclusively about male weights. Obviously those apply to
Sure.
female athletes as well. For our female athletes, yeah, obviously it's the same thing. The last bar is 155 or 85%, whichever is going to be less. We do that a lot by accident because we're both guys. We end up talking about the guys' weight. So I apologize to the women listening. But yeah, it's the same thing. I mean, again, 135 and 95. So just back that down to what's appropriate if 155 is like very close to your max. Yeah, you just need to be able to get through it so you can actually get to the last barbell and get the stimulus of the workout, the intent behind it.
Yeah. And so I think this will be a fun one. Obviously, descending reps can be fun as well. So yeah, belt up, work on that ankle mobility so no one's wearing their lifters to do double unders. That's like your arches will thank you later if you.
Yeah.
So yeah, get warmed up really well, belt up, and get ready to hit some squat cleans.
And lastly, we encourage as many people as possible to jump in with you and do these workouts. You've got people who want to throw down with you. By all means, encourage them to do that. However, we want everyone to submit their scores, right? So where you're going to go to is zorfitness.com. You'll hit on menu, drop down from the protocol. You'll hit that tab called Name Game. And then you'll go down to the first workout, which should be the newest one. And you're going to click that little green arrow. There you'll be able to enter your name also with the workout name. That's important because it tags it so it doesn't get lost in the forum later on. But then you obviously are going to put your score or your time, and then you'll submit it. If you click on that little number next to it, you're going to see all the other comments, right? You might actually not be able to view them all. So if you hit view all comments, that's going to take you down sort of a leaderboard where you get to compare scores. And then also your coach gets to help determine where you stack up versus other competitors to be able to determine your individual weaknesses. It's going to be super helpful for us, pretty exciting and engaging for you guys. And if you're someone who's watching this, you're not a Zor Fitness athlete yet, I'll link to it below, but you can either check out the protocol or one-on-one coaching and we'll reach out, see if you're a good fit. And for everyone, best of luck on the workout.